My guest at this time was seen this past Wednesday night on AEW Dynamite, tagging with the Varsity Blondes against AEW World Champion Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers. It is Danny Limelight. Danny, thank you very much for taking the time to chat with me today.
Nick, what's up, man? How you doing, bro? I appreciate you bringing me on, on your show and making me sound like a star just now, man. How's everything?
I'm good. Well, you are a star, right? I mean, AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm a big GCW fan as well. It's not like you're hard to find at the moment, Danny.
I've been very fortunate that this last year kind of just took off for me in the right direction. The hard work and consistency kind of paid off, and it's a blessing, man. Especially like hearing from like a whole bunch of new people that didn't know who I was a year ago, and now they're starting to find my stuff out. It's kind of fun at the same time when people are just discovering me, and then people that have been following me for so long are excited for me. It just feels good.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, you're in a real interesting spot because you are appearing for AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling like at the same time right now. I mean, not a lot of talent. Are you the only talent? I don't know how many people are actually getting to do that right now.
I think for AEW, I'm the only one that's you'll see me from New Japan Strong on AEW, but I know that with Impact, you got Chris Bay, you got TJP, they're hopping back and forth between Impact and New Japan.
Wow.
And with the Ring of Honor guys too, you got Brody King hopping back and forth from Ring of Honor and New Japan. So there's a few of us that are doing New Japan Strong and a few other shows, but definitely I'm pretty sure I'm the only one from AEW. So that's kind of cool.
Man, fans are hungry for a New Japan AEW relationship, Danny, and you are kind of right there in the middle. So you are the connection at the moment. You are.
I'm Danny Limelight. I'm not a connection to nothing. I'm just fortunate enough to be hopping back and forth from New Japan Strong and AEW. I hope one day that'll happen. I think that would be awesome if something like that wasn't able to go down. A lot of possibilities for some pretty dope matchups.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, I think Okada made some comment to my friend Justin Barrasso at Sports Illustrated the other day where he's like, "Yeah, I'd love to see an AEW New Japan Super Show." So I know that there's people over there interested as well.
I'd love for Team Filthy to represent in that Super Show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that would be pretty dope.
Yeah, 100%. Well, let's talk about what you're doing here. Let's focus back to AEW. That's why we set this up. We get to New Japan stuff here just a little bit as well. But yeah, man, you've been with AEW here for a couple months now. You've been on Dark. You've had more than a handful of matches now. Yes. How did you first get hooked up with AEW? What brought you to AEW Dark?
I think Wednesday night Dynamite match. I think that was my 10th match with AEW ever. So it was kind of cool. It was my 10th match, and it was Dynamite. The Dark stuff kind of happened out of nowhere. I think right around the time I made my New Japan debut. I had emailed, Christopher Daniels, who's head of talent relations. At the time he was, I'm pretty sure he still is. I'm not 100% who's in charge of that, but
okay.
Emailed him. I sent him my stuff, introducing myself. I had never spoke to him before, so it's just like introduction. He told me that, they put my stuff on file, let me know if anything comes up, things of that nature. Kept grinding, kept working hard. Did the Lions Break Crown tournament. Primetime Live was rocking and rolling for me. So I was staying pretty consistent on television and pay-per-view and stuff like that. And then I got the call, but I was contacted by QT Marshall in October. And so, I flew out there and, made my debut with the 6-man tag with Jurassic Express, which was kind of fun, considering the fact that, Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy are two dudes that I train with.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. It's usually just me, JB, Luchasaurus, and John Hennigan, John Morrison. We kind of all sometimes once in a while meet up at like a Gymnastic Olympia and work on some parkour and some strikes and things like that, some cool little things. And sometimes we meet at the ring. So it's kind of fun being able to work with those guys. So it was cool, making my debut. The reaction was well received by the fans. I was invited back, and I had a tag match against, Jurassic Express. And then I think after that second tag match, I kind of showed a little bit more of what I could do. And I think that's when, from there, it was just singles matches. Brandon Cutler, Brian Cage, Seidel twice.
I know. I saw the Seidel one. Yeah.
Me and Ray Phoenix, I think, kind of really opened a lot more eyes to people of to show that I can go with the best of them. And I think that a lot of people did see stuff from New Japan, which is why they were like, oh, who's this Danny Limelight kid going back and forth with Ray?
Yeah.
I think, yeah, man, it was consistently working hard and showing myself week in and week out. I think since making my debut, I think I only missed maybe 1 or 2 weeks of Dark. I think I've been on consistently ever since. And it feels great to, be recognized by the company and be trusted to be able, to get into the ring with some of the best, let alone, on Dynamite, with Kenny Omega. So
yeah, dude. Yeah. Well, real quick here on Dark and stuff, like what's the process? Who are some of the agents you get to work with? I'm always really interested to hear about that side of it. Like, who are some of the people that you're working with?
A lot of amazing people back there. Some of the guys, that I have had the pleasure of working with. I've been there, Christopher Daniels, you know, Jerry Lynn, especially, you know,
Sure.
he's our agent in a few of my matches. So it's so much amazing people back there that just want everybody to succeed and everybody to look good. And I've been having a lot of fun with it, man. Like I really have, you know, I appreciate that I've been able to just, you know, be myself and like really, you know, come out there, represent New York City, represent Puerto Rico, and just give people a little, you know, a bit of my sazon, a little bit of my season of what I can do. And man, it's just been rocking and rolling. And, you know, at the same time, the whole New Japan stuff and Championship Wrestling from Hollywood stuff is still going for me. So, you know, you mentioned GCW, but it's just for me, you know, coming into 2021, it was like, wow, I had an amazing year. How do I stay consistent? How do I continue to show everybody that, you know, it wasn't a fluke? That, I mean, I don't think anybody thought it was a fluke, but maybe they just weren't expecting it to be a coming out party for me or whatever have you call it.
Yeah.
And it was just, for me, it was like, just continue to work hard, continue to put in the work, grind it out. You know, I haven't really had time to just like sit down and soak it all in, really. You know, last year was just nonstop, go, go, go. And, you know, that last day, you know, New Year's Eve, I kind of took a couple hours and just like really just it soaked it all in, you know. And then now rocking and rolling ready 2021 is off to a fast start. And I'm excited to see, you know, what happens next.
For sure, man. And on that note, man, you did do a lot. And this, let's not pretend 2020 was like a normal year, right? Like,
Yeah.
how was that for you? You know, having to not just do all these shows and stay on top and on, you know, trying to get your face out there and everything, but also having to deal with all the pandemic stuff on top of that. How much of a stress was that for you?
Man, dude. So when I came into 2020, I had just separated my shoulder in December, the end of December. I separated my shoulder, so I thought I was gonna be out wrestling for a while. I get hit by a car the following week. It fucking sets, sorry for cursing, it sets my shoulder back in. I get the range of motion back. I'm like, okay, time to get in the gym. I want to get back in the ring. So
Yeah.
a month after separating my shoulder, I was back in the ring. Started rocking and rolling, picking up steam a little bit on the independents. And then the pandemic hit. And I was like, okay, you know, wrestling's probably going to be out for a while. I had just got out of the Marine Corps in October. So I was just doing wrestling and acting and stunts full time. So the people that don't know, I also do acting and I do stunts. So you know, I had saved up some money from the John Morrison film that I did. I did all the stunts in his new film Speed of Time, so that was pretty dope.
Okay, very cool. That's
So,
a new film. I saw Boone. I haven't seen the new one. I don't know.
Speed of Time is fun, man. It's fun. It's doing really well in the film festivals right now too. So I played all the Time Borgs, me and a couple other guys, but I did the majority of the crazy stunts I'm doing it as one of the Time Borgs, and John's just whooping my ass the whole film. So I had saved up some of that money, you know. Was going to school at the same time, and I started writing and producing my own short films, just trying to stay busy as well as working out at home, staying in shape, keeping up the cardio. Because I knew eventually wrestling was going to come back. I just didn't know when, and I wanted to be ready when it happened. Fortunately, before I had separated my shoulder, I had did my New Japan tryout in the fall of 2019. So when I got the call to make my debut, and they're like, "Yeah, you're going to be wrestling TJ Perkins," I was like, "Okay, this is my time. This is my moment. I'm ready. I'm ready to rock." And you know, wrestling TJ Perkins did a lot for me. He's one of the best technical wrestlers around.
Sure.
So it kind of got people that had never seen me before. Okay, who's Danny Limelight at this level, you know? And then New Japan Strong started, and I got to be, you know, I'm pretty much a mainstay on that show. I've been on, you know, pretty much weekly, and then filthy stuff, you know, feuding with Rocky Romero, and just, you know, competing in the Lions Break Crown tournament. Like, to me, I was like, wow, you know, the fact that I'm making my debut in New Japan, this is huge. You know, it's huge for me. It's huge for a lot of people. It's some people's dreams to get there, you know. And here I am in the middle of a pandemic wrestling for New Japan. And they took care of us safety-wise. You know, they did a really good job with making sure everybody was tested and things of that nature.
Sure.
And so I have that going for me. You know, Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, I'm still doing my thing there. Primetime Live is kicking off. And I'm like, okay, like, this has been my biggest year in wrestling yet, you know. And little did I know it was only going to get bigger, like right around the corner. And I'm taking it all in. I'm embracing this. I'm really loving it. And I'm really trying to continue to keep people talking about me, because, you know, I believe consistency and hard work gets you to that next level. And when I got the message and call from AEW, I was like, oh shit, like, holy shit, like, not trying to say this is bigger than New Japan or anything like that, but this was something else that was huge for me. And I was like, oh, like, AEW and New Japan, and I can do both right now. And there was one week where I was on Primetime Live and AEW Dark at the same time. And then I was wrestling on New Japan that Friday. And then I had Championship Wrestling from Hollywood every Saturday. And I was on 4 different like TV stations and 4 different companies that week. And that was the first week where I was like, holy shit, like I feel like I'm actually doing something now. Like not that nothing I'd done before wasn't no crazy accomplishment, because it definitely was huge accomplishments.
Yeah.
But I think that's when it hit me, like I can do this. Like I can be one of the next stars in this business, you know. And it felt that way for me, and I just kept grinding. And I'm sure, you know, to some people they probably didn't expect it, but I don't care. You know, for me it was like, these are opportunities that are coming my way, and I've been working hard for it. I've been staying consistent. I've been staying authentic to who I am. Like, I deserve this shit. And when you know, Dynamite happened, and I found out I was wrestling Kenny and the Good Brothers, it's like this is it. You know, this is like the final boss is what it felt like. You know.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's a lot of let's jump to that now here. So like that's a lot of faith they're putting in you to put you out on national television in a 6-man tag with the world champion and these invading outsiders, right? And Anderson and Big LG there. When did you find out about this? What was your reaction? Like, how did you prep for this big moment here?
Man, it right after, the week before, I had hopped the rail to try getting, you know, the Good Brothers out of the ring when they invaded the first time.
Right.
They threw us out, they beat us down, they put Fuego through a table, they beat up the Varsity Blondes, and I think they announced that there was gonna be a 6-man tag, like on a promo, Don Callis and Kenny, and the Twitter just started saying Limelight and Varsity Blondes, Limelight and Varsity Blondes. Like, we hope this is who they're gonna face, because there was no major announcement, so I guess people was expecting it to be people that were in the ring.
Okay.
And so when they told me, like, hey, it's you and the Varsity Blondes that day, I was like, like, let's go. Like I felt like I was ready, you know? Like,
Yeah.
was I nervous? Yeah, I felt like the spider senses like crawling up my damn arms and like my hair. I'm like, this is not a shot at anybody else. This is the biggest match of my life. Nothing I've done before in my eyes is bigger than being on TNT, national television wrestling, who's arguably the best wrestler in the world. And then this part of this like huge angle in professional wrestling right now, you know, with Kenny and the Elite and the Bucks and the Invaders from Impact, you know, the Good Brothers. Like, to me, like, this is a huge angle in all of professional wrestling. And it's really about to kick off in this 6-man tag. And this company trusted me to be in the ring with Varsity Blondes, was a young up and coming tag team as well. You know, it felt like a big spot, and it 100% was a big spot. And I knew that once I stepped into those ropes, like I need to show out, and I need to make sure that I show this company that I could be an asset to them.
So, and with that said, you know, yeah, you're kind of you're with a tag team, right? They're kind of squared off against the Good Brothers, and that leaves you and Kenny, right? And you got to have some real moments here with Kenny. You guys got to actually go. What was it like working with him? Did he give you any advice or anything before you guys got in the ring together?
I think that Kenny Omega is, you know, he's one of the best in the world for a reason. I think that I seen the tweets. I seen like the people saying, "Oh, what was he? You know, he was selling too much for that kid." And
that was our own Justin LaBar, by the way. It was LaBar.
Yeah, I seen a bunch, but he wasn't the only one. I mean, people can interpret things however they want. It's their opinions, you know. Yeah. I don't get mad at that. But for me, I looked at it as somebody who's at the top of the game, adding value to the company by showing people a group of people that can be future stars in the company. You know what I'm saying? Like, it felt like he's at the position where he can make stars wrestling somebody. I mean, look what happened on Twitter immediately after the match. I was in a match with Kenny Omega and I was trending. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wouldn't have happened if I was, you know, just wrestling a regular match. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to any of my opponents that I've had before, but that right there is proof that what he did, it added value back to the company, because now there are people that want to see me wrestle Kenny Omega one-on-one.
Sure.
There are people that want to see me just wrestle on Dynamite again, you know, and I want to be there. And for me, just being able to, it was an ultimate test for me. You know what I'm saying? One of the first real tests I had in wrestling was the first time I had wrestled the Lucha Brothers on the Independence. It was like my first real big independent match, you know? Gotcha. And then wrestling Rocky Romero in a feud on New Japan, that's a test for me. Like, Rocky Romero is one of the best, you know, junior heavyweights ever, in my opinion, you know.
Rocky Romero, who doesn't love Rocky Romero, you know?
So like that was a test for me. Like, I need to show that I can, you know, keep up with him, you know. And wrestling Ray Phoenix on Dark. Now I got a singles with one of the best luchadors in the world. I need to show people that. So wrestling Kenny on national television in front of what I think the numbers were like almost 800,000 viewers that night was me showing the world I can hang with Kenny Omega. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I belong in the ring. If I can show the world that I belong in the ring with Kenny Omega, and people want to see me wrestle Kenny Omega, then I can be in the ring with anybody else professional wrestling.
So
that was the pressure I put on myself.
So you go in and you show out, and you're part of the finish there, and then you go on Twitter and you say I'm the hottest free agent in pro wrestling. So what does this mean here, right? Like, does this mean?
You don't think I'm attractive?
No, I'm not saying you're not. What is the free? I mean, what is the future hold here? You've got 4 different homes here. You say you
I
want to be
know.
back on Dynamite. Like, what's this? What's the situation? We're going to see you keep doing this kind of conglomerate, multiple different promotions here for the.
Yeah, I know. I ruffled some feathers with that tweet, man. There was a couple of feathers being ruffled right there when I sent that tweet out. But for me, it was, I was being Danny Limelight. I was talking my shit, and I think that I am one of the hottest free agents. I think I am the hottest free agent in professional wrestling right now. And that it has never been signed anywhere else before. No other company backing me previously with a major contract. I've never had one. This is my time right now. I feel like going to 2021, it's my year. And, I know for sure I'm the hottest free agent coming out of SoCal. I'm probably going to be the wrestler of the year out of SoCal, and for me, it's what more do you need to see? What more does any other company need to see of Danny Limelight that they haven't seen, that I haven't showed on a consistent basis that I can add value to a company if I was signed. And, right now I'm very blessed and fortunate that I'm able to wrestle for New Japan. I'm able to wrestle for AEW. I'm able to wrestle for Primetime Live and United Wrestling Network. And I love it. And I'm not closing the door on any other company either. Like I didn't tweet that to try to get people talking like, oh, he's going to end up over here or there. No, I'm just proud of everything that I've done this last year and now in the middle of a global, pandemic. I'm proud of how hard I've worked. I had a shitty start to my wrestling career. My school had kicked me out, told me I never wrestle again. Now look at me. You know what I'm saying? Like that to me is like years of hard work, years of, overcoming adversity. My first year outside the Marine Corps, no, like just completely betting on myself, no other job besides the acting stuff. And that's just as hard as professional wrestling. You know what I'm saying? So it all culminated to me like that was the culmination of a fucking year of hard work yesterday. Oh, not Wednesday,
Yeah.
and I do believe that the way that the internet was talking about me, that right now I'm hot. I'm hot.
Well,
And if you're hot, you hot.
Well, and first of all, thank you for your service. You brought it up a couple times, your time in the Marines. But second of all, like, have you talked to Tony Khan? Has he ever given you feedback? Like, do you have a relationship there? Do you have a pulse on how he feels? Like, what's that situation?
Yeah, I think that there's a good relationship there. Tony Khan is an amazing human being. I think that he's in the Marine Corps. He would be what we considered a good leader. Someone who leads with firmness, fairness, and dignity. And I think that that's hard to find in any job. Someone who's the head of the table of a company and cares about their people. Cares about the people that are working for them week in and day night, day in and day out, week in, week out, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
I think that the matches that I'm having with AEW, the opponents that they're putting me in the ring with, shows what the company believes in me. I don't think I would be put in those situations that I've been put in if there wasn't faith in me being able to deliver.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah.
That to me speaks volumes.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing is, you put out that free. Everyone just want to know: has he signed somewhere? Is he going to sign somewhere? No,
I'm not signed anywhere. Haven't signed any contracts. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When the opportunity presents itself, I'm gonna make sure that it's a company that I can add value to, that I feel like I would be an asset to, a company that I feel that's gonna care about me and care about how my career is gonna go. Like it needs to be for me what I feel is best for the company and what's best for me and my daughter.
Last thing I want to ask you about, back to the 6-man match. You tagged with the Varsity Blondes. Had you worked with those guys before? Have you worked with Brian and Garrison or no?
I've never worked with Brian Pillman Jr. or Griff Garrison. They were one of, I've known Pillman for a while on the independent scenes, and Griff I had just met when I went to AEW the first time. But they were definitely two of the first dudes that kind of showed me love and was super friendly to me. We just, it was cool to share that moment with those two guys, because I think that they're young, they're trying to make a name for themselves as well, and they're great human beings. I think that both of them are fun people, and it was awesome just, sharing that, and even talking to them after the match, like, whoa, bro, like we did that, man. Like, like that was dope, man. So it was a cool little, bonding moment with both those guys. And I wish both of them the best in their all their endeavors.
Just wild, man. Every time I'm just like, wow, you're a Pillman. You're Brian Pillman's son. It's so crazy to me. I don't know why that just blows my mind all the time. All right. Anyway, thank you very much, Danny, for the time. It was great chatting with you. Congratulations on all the success that you're having right now everywhere, including this past Wednesday night. Where do you want to send people to find you, follow you, support you, all those great things?
Oh, man, first of all, I just want to thank you for doing this interview, man. It's pretty dope. I know we kind of had the internet talking a little bit. But I just want to thank you again, man. And for people that don't follow me, I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Danny Limelight. I got a Pro Wrestling Tees store. It's at prowrestlingtees.com/Danny Limelight. And yeah, man, just hit me up. If you guys have interviews you want to do as well, if you guys want to chop it up, whatever the case may be, let's do it, man. Thank you so much to you and Wrestle Inc. and all that stuff. And hopefully we can do this again sometime.